Welcome back to the Straw Hat Duo. My name's Charlie. Today we're going into chapter 1048, titled 20 Years. This chapter does have a cover story. It is Brule reaching into a mirror talking to Cracker about the Germa people who have showed up. He's bandaged up from his fight with Luffy in the previous arc. It is titled Germa 66's Cold-Blooded Voyage, Volume 10. Is Germa trying to infiltrate Chocolate Town again? So, before we get fully into the chapter, I will apologize in advance. My voice sounds terrible. I'm congested. Allergies this time of the year suck. Getting right into it, the first panel that we see is Luffy's giant fist swinging down at Kaido. One thing I want to state here is we do see the giant sword that's stuck into Onigashima, and not only is that sword bigger than Kaido, that sword would look like a toy sword, like a toy dagger in this fist's hand of Luffy. There was a bunch of, oh, Luffy's gonna grab the giant sword and use that as a weapon to cut Kaido's head off. Yeah, well, for one, that's not Luffy's style. For two, it would look ridiculous. I know that's the name of Luffy's fruit, pretty much, but I don't see that being done. Starts out with that. Momo's freaking out, saying that, I can't move Onigashima, I can't do that. You're gonna have to find something new. And then he has a small flashback to his family. His mom's giving him encouraging words. So he's like, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna do it one way or another, and starts headbutting the island. Next page, we get a little close-up on Kaido's face and Luffy's face. Luffy still has like a smile on his face, but it's kind of his teeth gritting, kind of determined smile at this point. It's not the carefree smile. So a little bit of development in his gear fifth. We see the fist almost getting up to Kaido. Kaido's like, yeah, sure, whatever. I'm gonna take this. I could take it. It's one of those attacks where it's more impressive to take it head on and stand strong afterwards rather than dodge it. Because this looks like an attack that, other than its size, would be fairly easy to dodge. And I have a feeling that Kaido could pretty easily get out of the way of this. If he wanted to, I should say. He asks Luffy, have you heard about the country's hero, the legend that burned to death? And the title comes into play here as Odin burned to death 20 years ago. He didn't, well, I mean, I guess if the gunshot didn't kill him, he did boil to death. That is a possibility. If he coated his forehead with Conqueror's Haki as he got shot, or not Conqueror's, but Armament Haki as he got shot, but it just took the last of his strength, fell over, and he boiled to death in the oil. Then he could have boiled to death. The gunshot might not have killed him. But anyways, Kaido's like, yeah, have you heard about him? Then goes into what might be Kaido's final attack? I don't know. Flaming Drum Dragon. Kaido's like, this land has been ruled by me and Orochi since then. That's just how it's been. I am the leader, and I don't care what's going on. Power overcomes all. If you're powerful, you have a place in this country. If you're not, grab for the scraps. He's like, yeah, they've always waited for the saviors. They don't have they have no backbone. They can't take it upon themselves to take care of it. So it'll just be fitting to put you in your place. And he's pretty much just talking a bunch of crap. So he goes into the Flaming Drum Dragon and looks to coat his body in fire, maybe magma, probably fire. But the hand that Luffy had on Kaido, burns. So Luffy lets go and he goes, hot, hot, hot. And he brings it back to him, starts blowing on his hand. Kaido kind of reassures him. He's like, don't worry. You don't have to hold on. I'm not going to run. I'm going to take this. I'm going to show you that you have nothing on me. Then he kind of expands on that. He's like, not that it really matters if you hit me or not, because your hand's not going to make it to me. I'm going to vaporize it before it gets to me. Then he finishes coating himself, and then his tail hits one of the horns on Onigashima, the Muffin Mountain, and it vaporizes, just melts away. That was on a double page spread. Then Luffy, talks his stuff and says, I'm not gonna let that happen. Kaido goes up to him, goes, Rising Dragon, Blazing Bagra. Uses his body as a projectile, maybe? His mouth is also open, so it could be blast breath that he's using, just, his whole body is powering it rather than just his mouth. And Luffy's attack is Gamu Gamu no Baryon Gun. I don't know, I probably butchered that, but in English, it's hinting towards the Hindu monkey god. Monkey D. Luffy, makes sense. So, as Luffy is calling out his attack, he has a flashback to when he was training with Hio, and he goes, I learned from Hio how to hit somebody without hitting somebody, how to project the Conqueror's Haki, or the Haki to damage without making contact with my fist. So that's what I'm going to use. He's like, I'm going to knock you to the bottom of hell. Their attacks clash. They don't quite reach each other, but they're kind of like that distance apart as they're attacking. So this obviously gives Momo a little bit more time, which is a good thing for him. Shows Luffy kind of covering his eyes from the brightness of it. Probably the brightness is from Kaido's attack, due to it being probably like a fire blast of some sorts. It looks like Kaido's trying to bite Luffy's hand. That's about what it looks like. So then we go back over to inside, and Usopp, is crying over Kinemon and Kiku. And Hamlet's there just kind of drained because they were just engulfed in water. Usopp's like, yeah, please be alive. I hope you're not dead. And then we see all the samurai kind of cheering for Kaido. Take him down, kill him, you got it, don't worry about us, finish him. We see the frog-like retainer, and he's like, this is a nightmare. He's pretty much going, this won't stop until Kaido's gone. So we need Kaido gone, otherwise we're going to continue living in hell. And then he has a small flashback to when Oden was boiled. It's the same flashback that we've seen a ton of times of Oden getting shot, but this time it's not from Orochi or Kaido's perspective, it's from the retainer's perspective. So they're all crying, they're calling out for Oden, and they hear the gunshot, and they're all just deeply saddened by it, but they keep on running. Orochi is like, the samurai have to be going to Kuri. That's where, Hiyori is and Oden's son. And at this point, Kaido goes, oh, so he's got a son. Cool. I'm gonna go check this out. I'll take care of that. Then all the samurai of the land kind of jump in front and go, no, please stop hunting them. Just let them be, just stop hunting them. Kaido takes his kanabo, just hammers through the crowd, just smashing people left and right. Orochi gives the order, anybody who gets in the way, just shoot them. It doesn't matter. If they defy, who cares? They're dead. Crowd's just getting mowed down. Then we flash forward a little bit to Oden Castle just burning down. Somebody asks about Oden's wife, and apparently she was confirmed dead in Bakura Town, and no one else was seen fleeing the ruins. So they don't have her body, it seems. So she could have jumped forward a little bit in time. So we may still see another little shot of Oden's wife, Toki, but she's probably still going to die. Otherwise, it would kind of take away from her sacrifice. They claim that the Kozuki clan, or Kozuki line of the clan, is officially dead. Gone. No more. Then Orochi and Kaido sitting there, and they're talking to the daimyos. And they say, listen, you can either side with us and create a new Wano, or will you wage war against us? And it's pretty much, you'll die. All the daimyo are like, yeah, no. Definitely not. We're not going to recognize you as Shogun. Our only Shogun is, or a Kozuki. And they vow to avenge Oden. So they claim that they're not going to recognize a Shogun that isn't a Kozuki, and especially not one that's not Oden. And it's their duty to take vengeance on the person who killed their Shogun. Kaido transforms into a dragon and just blast breaths them all, just destroys them. Orochi's sitting there just laughing, having a time of his life, and he's like calling everybody a weakling, saying that it'd be an insult to call them a samurai. Meanwhile, Orochi is probably, most definitely, the weakest person there on that battlefield. One of the samurai's like, if Kaido wasn't backing him, we could take Orochi out easily. He's not a threat. Somebody's like, quiet, he's got ears everywhere. Why would they care? They're literally in a battle with them. Who cares if you're insulting them? But hey, to each his own. Shows Wano being transformed into an industrial island to create weapons, and they find every able-bodied young man to put to work. If they have time to breathe, they can work. If they have, the energy to stand, they're working. That's how it is. They're going around taking everybody. One panel shows Kaido's men dragging one of the fathers away. The family's crying. Then it shows the water all murky, so, no more fresh water, so the families no longer have fresh water to drink. And then it shows barren fields and a skull in it. Crops won't grow because the water is tainted. On one of the dead trees, it shows a noose, like the guy is going to take himself out because it'd be at that point for him, it'd be easier than starving to death. Then we move forward to inside the factories, and Kaido's men are like, if you could still breathe, you can work. Keep moving. Don't count on anybody saving you, because our borders, they're staying closed. We're profiting off of this. Nothing you can do about it. There's everything we can do about it, but we're not gonna. This makes us money, and we're living good. So then we see Orochi kind of jumping around, having everybody around him. He's like, yeah, everybody's belly is gonna stay empty. Actually, you know what? Let's have them eat the defective smile fruits. That way they won't only be hungry, but they won't have a way to show their sadness. So they'll just be laughing, and when they want to be sad, they'll just smile and laugh and use up more of their energy. Ultimately, she's like, it's a perfect fate for all of these people because they hunted my clan. And it's like, Orochi is wrong in the way that he's doing it, but he's not exactly wrong for feeling the way he feels. I can understand the way he feels. He was literally hunted from birth. But, at the same time, this is kind of why he was hunted. This is why his clan was hunted, because of how he's conducting himself. So, it's a predicament. Then we go back to the present, where Orochi is still on fire and transformed himself back into his zone form because the nail came loose. However, he's only got one head left. I don't know if he can choose how many heads he can kind of represent on the form, but if not, this is his last life, it seems. He goes over to Hiyori and goes, haha, I'm taking you with me, I'm gonna bring you to hell with me. You shouldn't have underestimated my clan. He goes to go in for her. She just kind of closes her eyes and pushes her head down, and then Denjiro shows up. Finally, I think this is actually the first time I've said his name on this. I think since I've started reviewing One Piece on here, I don't think he's shown up. He's been absent for quite a while, making me kind of wonder what he was doing in this time, because there's many times where he could have helped. So I'm kind of curious on gonna go on with him. But he shows up, says, that seems like things are getting a little out of hand here. Draws his sword and slices Orochi's last head off. Stands in front of Hiyori, kind of hugging her. As this happens, some of the sun lanterns from the mainland Wano are floating up into the sky. Obviously, they can't see them from the treasury, but it seems like it's about the same time that this is happening. And a lot of them are make Orochi go away, make him disappear, free us from this hell, even just some asking for water. It's crazy. And the chapter ends out with a hole in the sky where the clouds were, and Luffy above Onigashima, Luffy and Kaido just going at it. It doesn't look like their attacks have reached each other yet, but it's kind of got one of those, Dragon Ball Z moments that the beam is going back and forth. That's how this chapter ends. The narrator comes out as, present hears the cries of the past. It does not seem like there's a break next week. We may get a conclusion to the fight next week. I don't know though. I saw it mentioned on another review and it makes sense. This is chapter 1048. Oda might want to go to chapter 1050 just to end out that fight on a even number. I think we'll see the unofficial conclusion to the fight next chapter, and then, the narrator announcing this fight is officially over, or, round 2. This was a big chapter it seems like Orochi is gone for good this time, maybe. We might get an update with Zoro here soon. He's with Frankie. I'm kind of curious on if that CP0 member that Kaido beat into oblivion that interrupted the fight, I'm kind of curious on if he's 100% gone, because since Kaido's got pissed off at him, we have not seen him. We haven't seen his body. We haven't even heard a peep from CP0 other than, that one CP0 member kind of tipping his hat to him. Actually, you know what? Maybe that's what Denjiro was doing. Maybe Denjiro went and found that other CP0 member and just took him out. I feel like CP0 is still gonna have something to do with this. There's gotta be more to them than just what's gone on. Yes, they played a big role, but I don't think that's the only reason they were there. I think there's still something more that will happen with them. And maybe we'll find out next chapter. Let me know what you thought of this chapter. Let me know what you think CP0 members are doing. Are there more coming? Let me know in the comments below, and we'll see you next week for another chapter review.